All right, sorry about that. So we're now live streaming on YouTube. Apologies for the delay. Again, we have a quorum. The departments that are not here are DPW, Safety and Permits, and Entergy, but otherwise we're represented. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first item on our agenda is a request, is a CBC item number 1. It's request by Front Porch Alliance LLC to purchase a portion of the Lyons Street right-of-way between Chabatula Street and former Front Street, adjacent to squares 78 and 81 in the 6th Municipal District. Jennifer, with real estate, do you have any comments that you'd like to make before we open this up to questions?
I guess we had gotten an updated site plan today that showed some more details on the infrastructure, and I tried to circulate that earlier today. Hopefully, I know DPW is not with us, but hopefully LaJoyce had a chance to take a look at that. And I know that we received a written comment from DPW that we were going to read into the record and maybe discuss what the issues they were bringing up are. Do you want me to do that?
I'll go ahead and do it, Jennifer, if you don't mind. I've also got a comment from Entergy that I received a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'm juggling a lot of things right now. Okay, so from DPW, the comment from Christopher LeBlanc is DPW needs additional time to review. DPW has concerns that if the applicant does not own the properties on both sides of the proposed roadway, selling the roadway may cut off access to the adjacent properties. If we do grant this request, the applicant would be responsible for maintaining drainage structures existing in this section of the roadway. So that is the DPW comment. The comment from Entergy is that Entergy, and this is Jeremy Rich with Entergy needs a servitude for its gas and electric facilities, and furthermore, no permanent structures can be built over said servitude. So those are the comments from DPW and from Entergy. Jennifer, I will go ahead and forward you the comment from Entergy that was just sent a few minutes ago.
Can you send that to me too, Stephen?
Yep. Okay, so those are the comments from DPW, or from DPW and from Entergy. Yes. Paul, do you have any? I'm sorry, Jennifer, go ahead.
Well, I've said this to the applicant that I wasn't sure exactly what the options are here, especially because the portion of the street that they're requesting is actually adjacent to the property that's owned by Lyons Development and property that is owned by the Port/Public Belt. So normally that would not satisfy our criteria for disposition, but they have represented that possibly the belt does not necessarily have an issue with it as long as they maintain the access to their driveway. You know, but I'm not sure that would, I'm not sure that overcomes what their what the problems are in terms of access to the storage facility, which has an entrance that faces on Lyons. you know, this is supposed to be, I guess, for an outdoor dining facility. Is there another direction that we could go? I guess I'm just putting that out there. Mainly, we're just trying to see if there might be a way that we could overcome those lot access issues using either the fact that the storage has other street frontage on that lot. Looks like in their subdivision of 2018, they lot 78B still has access to Upper Line and Shop. And so maybe that's not as much of a concern as the Belt property. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really sure how we could see a path forward, but understanding that, you know, there is a demand for public outdoor dining right now. So we're just trying to see if basically they've got this space back there that would be very convenient for them. And, you know, is there something that I'm not thinking of? If the lack of common ownership is the you know, objectionable for DPW, is there a way to overcome that objection, either with a lease or with a servitude for the adjacent owners? Wow, I've been talking for a long time and clearly not really articulating a question. I guess my question is for Paul. Paul, do you think the low lot access issues are, you know, are going to be a no-go with this?
It seems like a problem due to the way it's the storage facility is the big lot there. It seems like a problem the way that their lot is configured, that one would assume they would want that access on Lyons because it is it's like the entire length of the block, before they would access it on Tchoupitoulas or Upper Line. And being a storage facility, it may be the case that it's convenient for their customers to enter and exit from Lyons, depending on where the storage unit is.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an entrance there that would be potentially cut off. Is there anyone from Front Porch on the call? For what it's worth, I believe they did represent to me that they'd talked to the storage facility, or that there possibility of the storage facility acquiring it and leasing it to them was maybe a potential path, meaning that would the storage facility be an eligible buyer, but then you have the Belt problem. So I don't know. I don't know if it even works with the consent of the Belt.
And on the Belt, is there two access points to their parking lot there, or one?
It just looks like the one. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the thing that I sent around this afternoon with the updated site plan.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it doesn't have an arrow going into it, but it looks like there is some landscaping that ends, and then there's
right.
Potentially it could be a exit.
Oh, you mean in the back? Yeah. Well, where it says raised platform.
Where it says outdoors, the words outdoor seating. not where outdoor seating is pointing to, but where those words are.
Okay, I don't see the words outdoor seating anywhere on here.
On the site plan you said today.
Yeah,
Oh, you scroll down to a second page.
Paul, is this it that I'm hovering over? I don't know if you can see this on the
Yes.
screen.
See how it has like a, like a landscaping island, and then that ends, and then there's the words outdoor seating. Kind of looks like there would be an exit there.
okay. They thought that there was only one exit.
And that,
They claim to have talked to Christy Coates at the port, and they were supportive. Whatever that means, I don't.
and Jennifer, is
I
the,
mean, is this something that maybe should be referred to Sidewalk Cafe territory? I guess it's in the right of way though, so it's not really sidewalk, is it?
Yeah, I think DPW would probably have to opine about how their regulations apply, but it strikes me that, the regulations are written presuming you're on a sidewalk, so something that extends into the roadway seemingly would run afoul of those regulations.
it seemed like there could be maybe some arrangement made where they leased it only at night or something like that.
Jen?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is Tika. I can't tell because I'm having a problem.
That's a loading dock for Public Belt, right? So,
It's their facility. It's the entrance to their parking lot for their facility there.
but at the back, where that green blob is now that Stephen's got on the screen, that's a loading dock. There's no, that, where it says off-street, where it says part of seating, that entrance is currently not, doesn't go through to Lions. According to Google.
All right,
Okay,
but-
I wasn't.
I'm looking at it on Google Maps now. Yeah, it does not look like there's a second exit to the Public Belts parking lot.
At the back, it looks like a loading dock. I don't know what access is actually there, but
I see, yeah, I see that, but there's also a fence that doesn't look like it has a gate there. Maybe like it's just a pedestrian entrance. And then the storage unit, I just see a door that appears to be only an exit door for pedestrians.
Well,
Yeah. That's sort of where, when we discussed it, I was of the impression that the goal was not to block the driveway, but that I guess the rear portion of the dead end was not a concern for the belt. I have not confirmed that independently. That was what was told to me by the representatives of Front Porch. I don't think there's an intent for permanent structures. So, and I don't want to belabor this anymore than we have to. If we're going to defer it for more review by DPW as to where this fits in our world of potential outdoor seating, then let's do that. I was just kind of hoping to get closer to some options. But if a sale really isn't the right vehicle, then I guess that needs to come from DPW. um, unless it's an issue of the lot access.
Yes, this is LaJoyce from Sewage and Water Board. Yeah, Sewage and Water Board has an objection to the sale because there's sewer water and drainage on that street. And the drainage seems like it goes all the way to the back, where the railroad tracks are.
Right. So a couple years ago, the city sold the portion of Front Street here between Upper Line and Lyons that runs behind the storage facility. And that was subject to a servitude that was recorded in favor of Sewage and Water Board. So there is
No.
a
It goes all the way down, like not that part on Front Street, but it goes, we're showing drainage that goes back there behind the tracks.
okay behind the tracks.
Jennifer, could you restate that about what you were saying about what had happened previously?
Sure. In 2018, the city sold the portion of former South Front Street
Oh,
between Upper Line and Lyons. And it is subject to a servitude that was recorded in favor of Sewage and Water Board.
Oh.
Even though the building is actually, there's a permanent structure on there, clearly, but there is a servitude in favor of Sewage and Water Board.
Okay.
So we're not cutting off South Front there because it doesn't exist anymore. And the dedication was revoked.
Now, are they only asking to purchase a portion of this block of Lions? That is
Right. Based on the site plan,
Yeah.
they're just looking to do this. And I asked for this diagram with the measurements that came in today, but it looks like 143 feet by 51 feet. So that it basically would go right up to the edge of the driveway, the turn in for the belt.
Got it.
Whether that allows them sufficient turning radius into the parking lot, I don't know. I assume it does, but I don't, not my lane, literally. So they're looking at just the predominantly like sort of the rear portion there. And by that, I mean where it dead ends. 143 by 51, it looks like.
Did they discuss with you leasing as an alternative?
Yes, but they were interested in the purchase. LaJoyce, would you have an objection to a lease if it were subject to a servitude and no permanent structures?
I'm not exactly sure what would be the difference. I mean, because it still have to access the utilities. So what's the difference?
Well, in a lease, like we'd be still the property owner, and we could, enforce those conditions in terms of the lease in order to maintain access for Sewage and Water Board, as and when needed.
Is those dots, is that a gate or something on Lions? Or it's just
That's just their proposed boundaries of what they would like to turn into outdoor seating area.
Oh, I would have to get back with you on that one, but we do have an objection.
Okay.
And it sounds like you've got more problems than mine, but we would need to be made whole on the trees.
Could they maintain the trees in a lease situation? Am I on mute?
I'd have to think.
Well, I think,
Enforcement would be a question on my part.
I
just
think
so you know,
the,
Tika, I've requested the arborist report on Bank Street.
Oh, thanks.
It's forthcoming. Anyway, okay, so, all right, so DPW needs further review and Sewage and Water Board objects. Stephen, do you suggest that we defer or vote, or do you have a preference?
I would say either defer or potentially withdraw and resubmit after those discussions are had. I mean, it's really up to you. I mean, we could basically do an indefinite deferral such that it wouldn't reappear on the agenda until you sort of reinitiate it, Jennifer.
Okay, then. Let's do that.
Okay, so let's hold off since we're still accepting public comment until the midpoint of the meeting. We'll just jump to items 2 and 3, read any public comment that comes in, and then do the vote in the second half of the meeting. So
Okay.
that concludes the discussion of item number 1. We're now on to item number 2, which is a request for a servitude of air rights for steps and ground rights for steps, landings, railings, and an outward swinging door over the Murray and Maroney Street rights of way adjacent to 1128 Maroney Street. And this is the plan from Robert Pell that was submitted to property management. Jennifer or Ashley, do you want to introduce this? I don't know if Robert or anyone else is on the call on behalf of the applicant.
I'm not sure if they're on the call, but they're proposing to do just the traditional like step landings and railings on both sides of the property. I'm just waiting on them to send me what DPW requested and Tika requested as far as having the measurements of the right of way added or ADA compliant measurements added to the plans. I'm not sure if anybody else have any other comments.
No comments from city planning.
Okay.
Any other comments from anyone on the committee? Actually, let me go ahead and read the comments from DPW and from Entergy. So, sorry. So DPW says that they need the site plan to show the ADA accessible path width, which mentioned Ashley, and the comment from looks like there's no comment from Jeremy. Misplaced it.
Stephen, I talked to Ashley. I'd like to see the plans as well with the sidewalk, et cetera.
Okay, and I'm just I closed the email from Jeremy. So Jeremy's comment was that Entergy has no objection towards this request. Any other comments? Okay, hearing no additional comments, we will now move to item number 3, which is a request for a servitude of air rights for wraparound awning over the Annunciation and Robert Street rights of way adjacent to 4938 Annunciation Street. Ashley, this is this initial version of the site plan. Is this the same as the one you just sent, or has it been modified? Ashley, this is the one I got from you yesterday, so I'm guessing it's out of date.
Yeah, I just sent you a modified one to your email, but I can forward it to the entire committee that shows the.
I can open it up real quick. Yeah, I'll open it up real
So-
quick, Ashley.
Okay.
And is there anyone here on behalf of the applicant who wants to speak to this?
Yeah, I'm here. This is James Kars, the architect for the project. And so the only difference between what you just pulled up and the drawing you're about to open was the perceived minimum dimensions of the distance of the sidewalk from the building. And I would note that there is no curb here, so an exact measurement of the actual sidewalk is challenging to at the least, but it is a minimum of 10 feet in width, which is what is shown on the drawing you're about to open, and appears to be as much as 13 feet. It's sort of like a grass and gravel edge as it meets the asphalt. And so the determination, we determined that we would show what we perceived as the absolute minimum, which is 10 feet, but it does appear to be as much as 13.
Okay, and I'm having a delay opening that email, but so again, that distance is anywhere from 10 to 13 feet. Does anyone on the committee have any comments or questions at this point?
I think DPW needs the dimensions actually, and it should be fairly clear because often there's a parking lane kind of sort of in that shell area, so it may not be 10 or 13 feet, but it's usually back of the catch basin. I mean, the face of the catch basin. But at any rate, you need to have that determined before we could proceed on that.
Okay, so would you like us to take that measurement from the face of catch basin then?
That's normally where the curb would be.
Okay. The Krebs information that we've provided as well does state that there is no curb in the survey. Just, you know, there's like literally nothing.
I understand. I looked at the site, but I just,
Okay. Yeah.
you have to go from where the apparent curb is. You can check with DPW. So whatever you give DPW, I can just use that.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, so again, for these two matters that are considered non-CBC items, meaning the Planning Commission doesn't act on these applications, they're really here just kind of on an advisory basis. So Ashley, I don't know if you want to bring this back before the Planning Commission or if the blanks can be filled in via email. But the committee will not be taking a vote on this matter.
Yeah, I can connect everybody via email. We don't have to continue after the break.
All right, wonderful. So that is the third and final item. So we'll just quickly go to public comment. We've been receiving, or we've asked for public comment via Google link. We have received no public comment for any of these three items. So we can go ahead and take a vote on item number 1, which is the Lion Street item. And again, there will be no vote on items 2 and 3 as those are non-CBC items. So again, the vote on item 1 will conclude the agenda. Does anyone want to offer a vote or a motion on item number 1, the Lion Street request?
I'll make a motion. Ooh. Well, can't say
Tracy, I
no.
think I'd like to make a motion to withdraw.
Okay,
Okay, so motion, and I guess since you're bringing this, Jennifer, you can withdraw it unilaterally. I don't know that we need to vote on that. Jennifer, would you feel more comfortable if there's just a formal vote on this? I don't actually know what the rules are.
Probably. I mean,
Yeah, let's go ahead and take the vote.
let's just do a vote. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's do a vote because then it's not all on me.
Got it. So real estate makes the motion to withdraw. Or do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by HDLC. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any in opposition, say nay. There are no nays, so all the departments represented today have voted aye, so the motion passes. And the
Sorry,
item is,
this is Joyce. I lost, the power went out, so I'm back in. Where are we? I'm sorry.
goodness. So we're on item number 1, which is the Lion Street item. Real estate has made a motion to withdraw the application, and everyone voted in favor of it except for Sewage and Water Board, you, since you were absent momentarily, as well as Safety and Permits, Entergy, and DPW, since they're not present. So the motion to withdraw passes. That was the last item. That is really the last action needed on our agenda. So that concludes the meeting. Thank you, everybody. And again, this is streaming to YouTube. So if any of the departments or anyone else would like a record of the meeting, it's on the City Planning Commission's YouTube site, and I can send you a link as well. If no one has
Can I ask a quick question? I realize you said that you're not voting on non-CPC items. I'm unclear then as to what the next steps are for my application.
Yeah, good question. So there's not a formal vote by this commission. We just sort of bring it to the commission as a forum for people to make any comments. Ashley in real estate is going to follow up with Parks and Parkways and DPW, which are the departments that had requested that additional information regarding the width of the sidewalk. And so there will be further correspondence that you'll be copied on about that issue. So basically, instead of having that conversation here, it's just going to be shifted to an email-based conversation. Once all those issues are resolved, Ashley in real estate will proceed with the servitude and
Thank you.
running that through the process.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, and have a good afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks.